One of the most fun things about Pokemon Legends Arceus is that it introduced some brand new Pokemon, which means that I get to revive one of the long-standing series on my channel. Several years ago, I started a video series where I covered a cool fact about every single Pokemon in existence, which, if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out because it's actually a pretty cool series. With that being said, obviously there's new Pokemon being introduced all the time, which means I gotta keep making videos to make sure that I have indeed covered a fact about every single Pokemon. And since we got some new Pokemon in Legends Arceus, I am here to cover facts about them as well. A couple quick notes before we get started here. Number one, I'm only going to be covering facts about the brand new Pokemon and not the regional variants. However, I would be willing to cover those as well if you guys want to see it. So if you do, be sure to leave a like on this video and let me know in the comments below. There were also only 7 brand new Pokemon introduced in this game, so the video is going to be a little bit shorter, but the facts still are cool. And finally, this goes without saying, but if you're still trying to avoid spoilers, consider this your spoiler warning because we're talking about all the brand new Pokemon. With all that being said though, let's go ahead and get into the facts. Beginning this series of facts is the brand new evolution to Sneezler, Wyrdeer. In a video that I released shortly before the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus, I talked about the probably coincidental yet still pretty crazy connection that Wyrdeer has to Santa Claus of all things. However, there's another cool thing about its possible design origins that I want to talk about today. And that is that Wyrdeer is most likely based on the Yezo-Sika deer. The Yezo-Sika deer is a subspecies of the main Sika deer population, kinda like how Wyrdeer is a regional evolution to Sneezler and only evolves into this form in Hisui. That is not the only parallel that Wyrdeer has to the Yezo-Sika deer though, because in the same way that the people of Hisui love Wyrdeer and use its hair to make clothes that keep them warm, the Yezo-Sika deer was also very, very important to the Ainu, who are basically the indigenous people of Hokkaido, as they used the Yezo-Sika deer, just like the people of Hisui used Wyrdeer, for its own hide as well as a food source and depended on it in a very similar way. Next, we move on to Clevor, and Clevor is obviously the newest member of the Scyther family, as it is a new evolution of that classic Kanto Pokemon. And it definitely does do its best to fit in with this group, because not only is its name in line with the names of the other 2 members of its family, being named after some kind of blade-based weapon, but it also takes part in another interesting thing that this group of Pokemon does as well. And that is, despite Clevor being an evolution to Scyther, it actually has the same exact base stat total, which is 500, with the only difference being that the distribution of those base stats is swapped around a little bit. This is the exact same thing that Scizor does in comparison to Scyther as well, which makes Clevor and Scizor the only Pokemon that do not have their base stat total changed from their pre-evolution once they evolve. Moving along, Wyrdeer is not the only new Pokemon that takes inspiration from Hokkaido's past, as well as its indigenous Ainu people, because another new Pokemon that does this is Ursulina. Ursulina, given its general appearance as well as its ground typing, is very possibly based on the Ainu god of bears and mountains, which obviously correlates to Ursulina pretty well. This god is known as Kimun Kamui, and in addition to that, another really interesting thing about Ursulina's design that I've also talked about before is the fact that on its head it's got a golden circle that's meant to be a pattern of some sort, but this has a little more meaning to it as it's meant to represent the full moon, which is integral to Ursulina's identity as a Pokemon. Not only this though, but its eyebrows even play into this as well, as they are meant to resemble clouds, creating an overall picturesque scene on its forehead of a full moon with some clouds floating in front of it. Next up is Bascu Legion, the long-awaited evolution of Basculin, and this Pokemon definitely does Basculin justice when it comes to giving it the spotlight and attention it needed and deserved. But yet another interesting thing about this Pokemon, now that we have our hands on the game, is the fact that it also has two forms of its own, a male form and a female form. You might wonder why Bascu Legion of all Pokemon got a male and female variant, but it all has to do with its origins. Bascu Legion likely takes inspiration from the sockeye salmon, which is a particular type of salmon that lives in the Hokkaido area where the Hisui region is based. The interesting thing about this fish is that it will actually migrate from the ocean to rivers in order to mate and lay eggs. And when it does this, it actually changes its form, gaining a bright red coloration to its body, just like Bascu Legion has. Additionally, it's been reported that the males in this state are a lot more bright than their paler female counterparts, which also lines up with the female form of Bascu Legion being paler in its coloration compared to the bright red male. Finally, another interesting thing about the sockeye salmon in relation to Bascu Legion is that once they mate and lay their eggs, they die, which could also factor into Bascu Legion's ghost typing. Lore-wise though, Bascu Legion gains its ghost typing because of the fallen Basculin brethren that failed to survive while migrating upstream that now inhabit its body. And this inspiration is also what inspired Bascu Legion's English name, because the Legion part of its name not only refers to the big group of spirits that inhabit this Pokemon, but it also refers to a group of demons from a story in the Bible, which is another reasoning for Bascu Legion's ghost type. Moving along, we now come to Sneezler. Sneezler is the ride Pokemon that you use to climb up cliffs and mountains in the game, and in addition to that function, it also gained its own signature move known as Dire Claw. The effect of Dire Claw is that not only does it do damage to the opponent, but it also has a chance to leave them poisoned, paralyzed, or drowsy, which is Legend's equivalent to the sleep status. After looking this over a couple times myself to verify that this was actually the case, it seems to be the case that Dire Claw is the only poison type move now that can actually paralyze or cause sleep/drowsiness. And it is also the only poison type move that can also cause multiple status effects. This next one is a really fun one because I noticed it naturally when I was playing the game myself, and it was a really cool realization. So Overquill, just like Bascu Legion, is a long-awaited evolution to its own pre-evolution, Quillfish, and a really interesting thing about this Pokemon, aside from its general design, is it actually has a design quirk that links it back to its pre-evolution. If you look at both Quillfish and Overquill, and specifically take a look at their tail, they have some kind of interesting symbol on their tail. With Quillfish, it's kind of hard to make out what it's supposed to be, but with Overquill, it's very clearly a capital Q, which made me realize that this actually links back to its pre-evolution, as the symbol on Hisui and Quillfish's tail is meant to be a lowercase q, representing it as the pre-evolution, while Overquill has the capital Q, representing it as the final evolution. And last but not least, but also technically least because this is my least favorite Pokemon of the bunch, we have Enamorous. Enamorous is obviously a brand new member of the Forces of Nature from Gen 5, which is really cool, but another very interesting thing about it that could possibly become even more interesting as we continue to move forward here is that Enamorous is currently listed as the last Pokemon in the Pokedex at number 905. This makes it the only Pokemon currently at the end of its generation's Pokedex to not be a mythical. Every single other regional Pokedex ends its Pokedex with a mythical Pokemon, except for Gen 8 currently, since Enamorous is only classified as a legendary. This is a pretty interesting fact in and of itself, but it could potentially mean more. This is because, since it's a legendary, which is kinda close to a mythical, it could be the case that Enamorous is indeed going to be the last Generation 8 Pokemon in the Pokedex, meaning that the next new Pokemon that we get will be from Generation 9. However, it could also mean, since it's not a mythical Pokemon like all of the others in the other generations, that we are going to get some more new Pokemon in this generation, including at least one new mythical Pokemon, which will truly be the end to Generation 8's Pokedex. So you can consider this one a little bit of fact, a little bit of speculation, but overall, it's very, very interesting. And there you have it, everyone. Those were facts about every single new Pokemon in Legends Arceus. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe if you're new for more new Pokemon content. If you would like to support the channel further as well, and the making of videos just like this, you can also check out my Pokemon remixes on Spotify, as well as other streaming services, which greatly supports the channel and is very much appreciated. Also, if you need something to watch, be sure to go check out those other fact videos on literally all of the other Pokemon as well. It's a great thing to put on in the background, or just to watch if you want to learn something new about every generation's Pokemon. With that being said, I will be back with another video very soon, and until then, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, I love you very much, and I will smell you guys later.